Hi, this is JilliBling. I have another project using sunrise sailing. So here it is. And I'll show you the other two projects. This is number 3 of 3. And this is the first one using shaving cream. So that's 2 videos ago. And then this was the previous video. Like a panoramic view of sunrise sailing. So let's get started on today's project. So we'll use sunrise sailing bundle, which I found out is on back order right now until mid-August. But if you want it, go ahead and put in the bundle number as if you're going to order it, and it'll say, oh, it's on back order. Do you want to be notified when it comes in? And say yes, because many times when something is on back order, it comes in a little bit early, and it's always nice to know. Using the stamp set, which is brand new, not 29 anymore, just for the words happy birthday. I love all these words. I want to use them on something. I'm not quite sure that they fit on this card, but it's a great set. Blooming phrases, just for the word celebrate, right here. And that's the dies for sunrise sailing. We'll also be using the embossing folder, and this is a hybrid embossing folder, which means you could put a die inside the embossing folder with your paper, and it will cut and emboss all at once. We did that on this project. And then some new dies. These are called Fright Night dies, and that's for this nice layered shape. Okay, so there's a sample. That's kind of a small pile. So this is going to be used. This is Baker's Twine Essential Pack, and it comes in a pack with 5 different colors. We'll be using this kind of a crumb cake color just for this knot right down here, and we'll make that in just a few minutes. So items to cut out, I'll take a picture of this little cheat sheet with the card in front of it, because these are the items you need to cut out to make this card. And there's dies for all of these. 2 large clouds right here and here, 2 small clouds, 1, 2 sets of seagulls. So the seagull die comes all as one piece, but it cuts out 3 seagulls. So we need 2 passes through your machine. So we'll have a total of 6 seagulls. They're right here. And I was about to say large sails for the large boat, but this boat is the large one. So realistically, this is large, small, small, medium. Therefore, instead of it being large, I'm calling it medium sails, which is done in white, and then you texture those. And I'll show you the folder in just a minute. Small sails for the small boat, and you texture it. Medium mast, and for the deck, I had to look up these words because I wasn't sure. So that comes all as one piece, and those are done in Night of Navy. So you need 2 medium, and 2 small. So those are the pieces you need to cut out besides the label here to make this project. So I have those all done. And they're right here. Large, small, medium, small, and the seagulls. So we'll get to this and we'll build it in just a minute. Okay, so we went through that. Tear tape to attach this knot. And Tony came over and he's like, what are you doing? I said, I'm making a nautical knot. He says, what does a nautical knot mean? And I showed him. He goes, how do you know that's nautical? And I threw this little sailboat right on top of it. I said, there, because it has to do with sailing. I don't know. I don't know some things. So these are papers just for your die cutting. And you can see those are already done. Okay, so this is the card base. So here's the hybrid embossing folder. And we'll use this, and then also the corrugated, this is a new folder. We'll use that to texture the sails. So since I have this on top, let me show you about texturing the sails. You're probably thinking, oh, just put the white paper in there, but I do have just a little hint. Not that I did it wrong and had to redo it, just saying. So if you just set this in anywhere, all the white ones, and you're like, okay, and you run them through, if they're not straight, it makes the whole sail look crooked. So I suggest put it in here and have this straight line perpendicular with the bottom. Doesn't matter where it is, but just so it's straight. And then when you close it, you could check. That looks pretty good. So that's my little tip on using this embossing folder. This is the first time I used it. On the other two projects, I just left it plain flat white, and that's really nice too. Okay, so we'll get back to this. And this we'll use as we start building the card. So let's get started building the card. Night of Navy, and the paper cut sizes are in the video description, and a list of all the products used to make this project are also listed in the description. And a link to my blog where I'll show pictures of all 3 cards and links, everything that you can need. So this paper, Coastal Cabana, could go on there and you're like, well, let's texture it. So that's when we're going to use this folder, and I'm using it just for the water texture, the clouds texture. This sailboat, I'm going to have covered by this label. So I'll put it in here. And I'm trying to get these clouds. Also thinking that the label is going to go midpoint, so I probably need it up a little bit higher than I naturally would. Just because if you had it down low, right here, the word label is not going to cover that way up there. Therefore, put it high, a little bit of air above the clouds, and have it somewhat midpoint because you want your word label midpoint. So right there is a good place for it. Here it is, and isn't that nice? I hold it at an angle. You can see just how pretty it is. And I was thinking about taking a dauber into the craft white ink and running it over the top, and I thought, oh, that would be really pretty too. Didn't quite get there, but I like the idea of it. So now I'm going to attach this paper right to the card front. And because the paper is textured and it's got some really nice deep texture, you'll want to be a little bit heavy with the glue, just because the contact area is small. Like right here, it's fine, just normal. But when you get to the clouds and down to the water, it needs to be a little bit heavier than you naturally would do. And then because we're going to put something right in the middle, I could put some glue right in there. If it was just plain white paper for the inside of the card, I probably would not put glue there, because when you're writing over it, you don't want to be writing your name and having a bump. Okay, so that's all that's to that. And I want to make sure it dries flat, because you saw I used quite a bit of glue and there's a lot of texture on it. So I'm going to set it off to the side with a few blocks on it, just to kind of weigh it down for maybe 3 or 4 minutes. So this is for the words. This is Pool Party. And I'm going to do the words in Night of Navy and the words Celebrate. And before you go to do the words, I have one little suggestion. This die is from the Fright Night. So how to get that dirty? Better stamp straight. So when you put this on here and you go to stamp Celebrate, well here, this is a good example. So I might have ink on here. So you naturally would stamp right in the middle. Right in the middle. Okay, and then when you go to put this on, well, it's working out pretty good this time. But when I did it, it was coming off the edge. So I was going to say, just be a little bit careful, or have your paper wide enough and then just do it midpoint. Okay, so Celebrate, midpoint. There it is. Then when it comes to cutting it out, I kept on trying to get more and more of the tail, and I thought, no, I think I'm more interested in the words, the word celebrate being centered. So scooch it over a little bit. Then I'm watching this, the die shape, how it goes with the words. And I did take the words, because it's polymer, you can move it. So right now it's perfectly positioned with a little bit of a swerve. And that's just having it match the die, the shape of the die. When I put it in there at first, the C was up quite a bit higher and it didn't look so good. Okay, so I'm going to cut that out. So here that is. Okay, let's see what else we have. That's for doing, well, we could do the knot, what did I call it? We could do the nautical knot. So to do that, and I have a few tricks for doing this too. Just because if you're like, oh yeah, you just loop one through the other, maybe if I made my string bigger, it'd be a little bit more user-friendly. But what you're gonna do is fold it in half. And then these are the bit, this right here is what's going to loop with that. When I was doing this, the pieces kept on kind of getting loose. They're like a little crazy. So I'm like, well, you're going to be buried. So I put just a touch of glue. You could see that's not much at all right there. And then just a touch of glue down here on the loop. And you can tell I'm not doing it nice at all. It's all going to be hidden. And then just roll it together. Those two pieces are stuck together. Are they stuck together where they're really stuck together? Probably no. If I pull them apart, they'll come apart. But I just want them to hold together while I do my little knot thing, my nautical knot. Okay, trying to make it a little bit straight, rolling them together. And I know it's going to look ugly, but that's what I needed to do. I want them to hold together. Then while it's still a little bit wet, or you could put more glue on it, roll them together. Look at that. That's what we want. Is it perfect? Not at all. Okay, so let's do that again. So one end gets a little bit of glue. That joins with the other end. And we get gluey, just like in kindergarten. Oop. Remember paste? What was paste? It was in that container, and I had that metal capped with a paintbrush in it. I don't even think it was paintable. I don't know what that was. It seemed to disappear. We never used it anymore, so it's because all the kids were eating it. Okay, so I'm going to try to straighten out my strings because I put a dot of glue. Okay, those are pretty straight. And while it's still wet, stick them together. All this just to make a knot. Okay, there we are. So, to make the knot, you're looking, I'm like, yep, I want those to connect. So let's use the point. Put them through and then loop it. I'm pretty sure that's how it is. I'm going to hold it up while it's still loose. So if you're making it, you're like, that's what I needed to do. And if you're really going to make this, take a screenshot of that right there. Can you see that very good? Nothing fancy. Okay, and then pull it just medium tight. Boy, after all that, I hope that this is what it's supposed to be doing. There it is. I flipped the loop over to this side. Put over the white. Just a little bit of a tug. Okay. There it is. Okay, so in the last two videos, I said I was going to show you something, and I forgot. because I get all wrapped up in stuff. I was going to show you Baby Worn, which I will at the end of the video. And I was going to show you, oh, the shaving cream. I started a story. I said I would finish it, but I never did. So shaving cream, you do it in a tin. This tin right here, you take that and you mix up the shaving cream. The story is, when I was doing it at home for the first time, I did it in that size tin. It was a baking tin. Cleaned it out with soap and water. I think it was 2 weeks later, I made, look at the shaving cream, I made cornbread to go with our chili. Guess what? It tasted like shaving cream. And I washed that thing in hot water and really cleaned it. Therefore, use disposable. So that's one thing. The other thing is to show you pictures of Baby Worn. And I have to do a reminder. They'll be on my phone. So if I take my phone, put it somewhere there, that's going to be my reminder. Okay, back to this project. Let's cut out that Fright Night nesting die shape. I love this shape. And this shape matches one of the stamps, which is kind of fun. Smaller one is white, larger one is navy. Here we are. Okay, so how about if we color this with the blending brushes? And we'll get to all this. We're going to need to do blending brush on the words in just a minute. I don't know how I could be dirty already. I don't think I stamped much. Maybe that was the upside down words. I don't know. Okay, on here, we're going to do blending brush in the following colors. And these colors came about because I wasn't using them in a different box. They were available. And I had a labeled blending brush for them. Therefore, they work today. Okay, so we'll start with Coastal Cabana, down at the bottom. And when you think about how far up do you want to go on your white paper, if there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus in between Pool Party and Lemon Lolly, a little bit of white, that means that there's 6 different sections. But they're all going to drift into each other. But if you keep that in mind and you want your paper to show each of the different colors, you don't want to muddy them all together, just think of it as 6 sections. So as we're working on this, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So when you look on here, down here, you could see, yes, that's Coastal Cabana. And up here you could see, okay, Pool Party, a little bit of white, no color, then it goes to Lemon Lolly. So the reason that the white is there is because if you had the Lemon Lolly drift right on top of the Pool Party, we'd get a hint of green, and I didn't want that on here. Okay, so we have Lemon Lolly, Flirty Flamingo, you could definitely see that, and you could definitely see the Berry Burst. So that's the plan. Now to do it on a smaller little area, we can do it. And I was trying to make this really heavy with ink, and really heavy with ink, and then the rest blended. That's the plan. Let's see how we do. Coastal Cabana, heavy in the ink at the bottom. I'm purposely going to do this way down in the corner, and I have another reason for that. I'll show you as we go. I think it's better to show you a good, bad example rather than to tell you and you're like, I'm not quite sure what you're talking about. Okay, so Coastal Cabana, a bit heavy at the bottom. The less ink that's on the brush, the softer it gets. So right now there's not too much ink left. As I drift up a little bit higher to where the Pool Party goes, see how soft that is? Okay, let's get it a little bit darker. And do some swirls when there's not much color left on it. Okay, to me that's plenty of dark. Well, that one's darker. Okay, more color. Ooh, that's good. And then drift it up just a little bit into the Pool Party zone. So see how it's a little bit soft right there? And that will just make for a smooth transition. Okay, next is Pool party, pool party. Okay, and see how it looks. It doesn't look like there's too much ink on it. So I'm going to start focusing right about here, and then I'll drift up just a little bit. I'm trying to preserve a bit of the white area because I don't want the pool party and lemon lolly to touch. Okay, so when you see that, let me see what you see. You could definitely see Coastal Cabana, and you could see pool party. I want pool party to be a little bit more deliberate, strong. Yes, that is pool party. And see how it's okay if it goes down into this area? Because the Coastal Cabana is darker, it's okay to drift down low just to get that soft touch right up here. Okay, so that's gonna leave room for nothing. And then we're gonna do lemon lolly next and have that gap in there. Okay, pool party. And as I put my brushes up here, I'm making sure they don't touch. And when I carry them to class, I put them each in their own little bag because I'll tell you why. Sometimes these have touched and the berry burst goes over and it gets friendly with the pool party. And then when I go to use the pool party blending brush next, I get berry burst making a guest appearance. I don't want that. Okay, so they're all over there, not touching. Let's see how much ink is left on lemon lolly. And remember how I said I'm going to purposely start way down in the corner? I'm going to move this up a little bit higher because if I were to leave it right here, I would pick up a little bit of this pool party ink and it would make my lemon lolly area green. So, new area, a little bit higher. How much ink is on here? Not much, but you could see how there's a bit of a white zone. No, the no touchy zone. Okay, there's lemon lolly. I want to make sure you could see it's lemon lolly. And then as there's less ink on the brush, I'll start doing some swirls and I'm going to drift down into the white zone just a little bit and then up into the flirty flamingo zone just a little bit. I think it needs to be darker. I mean, I think this part right here is kind of the hit of the show. It has to be a bit vibrant. Okay, so there's still the white. You can definitely see the three colors. They're all different. They all have their own little zone. Okay, next is Flirty Flamingo. And it seems that the Flirty Flamingo and the Berry Burst, they're ready to roll. So if I do this right now, there's a bit of ink on it. Ooh, it's kind of nice and soft. Maybe I could drift down into the lemon lolly and then make it heavier up near the Berry Burst. Okay, here we go. See how it is, because like I said, sometimes it could be a little strong. Well, if I start up a little bit higher, if it's too strong, the Berry Burst will cover it. Ooh, that's pretty. It's kind of pink. Then it goes to orange as it drifts into the lemon lolly. And we're going to do the same thing on the inside. I won't take so much time and try to explain exactly what I'm doing, but we'll do the same process. Okay, so you can see all the different colors. We're doing good. So finally it is Berry Burst, but this one has a tendency to be a little big personality. Let's see. Yeah, look at that. Okay, because there's not that much color, I'm going to drift down into the Flirty Flamingo to make a soft transition. Then I'm going to put more ink on it, and I'm going to make this really dark, like this one is. And even if you left it just like that, that's fine. Okay, here we go. Party's on. I know it's going to be dark. Look at that. Isn't that fun? Okay, darker. This is like Warren. He knows with his hand signs how to do, he does, instead of doing more, he does more. He's like, more, everything. The dogs walk by, more berry burst. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay. Okay, I'm kind of on a roll with this. I should do the inside, huh? We'll wait. Okay, so this gets attached so you could see each of the different zones. If I did that up in here, I would have berry lolly, orange. So we'll just attach this. Right in the middle, and then we'll do our nautical knot attachment. Isn't that pretty? Just put a boat on there, you're done. Oh, celebrate. So when I went to put the celebrate on, right here in the pool party area, I'm like, it's kind of boring. So on this one, I took the blending brush and I did mostly the ends, but I drifted a little bit into the center. So let's do that. So Coastal Cabana, let's see how much ink is left on here. I think we're gonna need more. That's better. Just for a little interest, just so it's not quite so flat looking. Okay. Whoop. Whoop. Okay, so to attach our knot, it's gonna go right down here. See, I probably should have made it longer. Those are twisted. They're glue stuck together twisted. Ooh, which side is better? This side is better. So to attach them, I'm going to take tear tape. And I have a plan here. And it worked out pretty good on the sample. Okay, so it's going to go right across right here. And it's too long, but after I tear off the paper, the protector, I could just fold the adhesive back on itself. That one I did good. This one needs to be folded back. Okay, so I'm going to take the paper off so this will hold the ends of the knot. And you know, now that I'm thinking about it, I really should have made my string a little bit bigger, but that's okay. So right in the middle, then, so I kind of don't want these to be so twisted. Can I pull them apart? I didn't try real hard to, look at that. Okay, if you want, pull them apart. Just because I want them to be a little bit separated when they wrap around. Okay, the knot is in the middle. This little bit gets put into the tear tape. And there's not much tear tape holding it in place. So I'll follow it up with another piece of tear tape and then some liquid glue just to really lock it in place. But I want a bit of a gap in here just for a little bit of interest. So when you look down there, it's like, oh, there's a knot. No, it's a cool knot. It's a thoughtful knot. It was thoughtfully put there. Okay, oh, this piece is really little. Note to self, make bigger pieces. Then I have to work on that. Okay. And big writing, make bigger pieces. I'm going to make this work though. Because see how this one's a little funky? Hold on. But it doesn't look good. And I'll hold it up here in just a minute. Once I conquer it. Right now there's a task and I'm losing. And I will win. There it is. Okay, I'm going to hold it up quick and put tear tape on the back. So see how there's a little bit of a gap in both of them? Okay, when I flip it over, you'll like, yeah, not much. You should have made those bigger. I know. Okay, so when I was doing the sample, I took this and I put it on. I'm like, oh, relief. They're trapped in there. But then I started thinking, not by much. So, remedied that with liquid glue. So the liquid glue is going to go over and over. I'll hold this up. And see, once it dries, you won't be able to see it. And it's really locking it in place. So 2 pieces. Yeah, I'll do better on next one. And then I'm going to put dimensionals on. Oh, can we do the dimensional? We could do the dimensionals. Big dimensionals. 6 of them. Maybe I should let it dry so the liquid glue doesn't stick to my card base, but maybe that's a good thing. And I'm leaving the tear tape paper on there just because I'm afraid if I pull it up, I might disturb the connection. And it's going to work just fine. Because what are dimensionals' purpose? To raise it up. We're raising it up. Especially with 6 of them on there. Maybe 7. Because I can do that. There it is. Okay, that's ready. This should be done. Look how nice and flat that is. Okay, so this is going to go right onto here. And I'd suggest making it, I'm seeing a little bit of white. Is that glue? If it's glue I'm seeing, I'm fine with that. I just don't want to see the tear tape. We're good. Make it just a little bit lower. And don't smush down the top too hard. Okay, so this is just a hint bigger than this, but that's on purpose because I'm going to have clouds up there. The reason I didn't push down the dimensionals underneath the berry burst is because I want to tuck the clouds. This one in particular, I want to tuck the cloud under there. Let's find that cloud right here. So this one, oh, I had to put glue on it. I had to attach it permanently. Okay, so this one goes like right about here. And I like how it drifts into, into the navy top and the navy side. Just so you could say, yeah, that really is, that's a beautiful cloud. If it was in just the Coastal Cabana, that's fine. But when it drifts into the darker color, it's just more of a variation in color, more of a differentiation. Okay, that's good. And the baby cloud with liquid glue. And I'm not putting glue here because that's hanging off, and I'll probably put a dimensional there. So placing this, I was thinking, oh, up here, and then I thought, no, I like all that fancy work. So how about if it's right here? And after you've taken the time to do your blending brush and you've made this beautiful sunrise, sunset, whatever you like it to be, if you have this here, you lift it up and you move it, the glue will distort your beautiful blending. So kind of decide where you want to put it there and just stick with it. Okay, so we're getting there, huh? So we could put this on next. So I'm going to put a small dimensional under either end of it and then just attach it. We're done with tear tape. And I'm not going to push it down real hard on the ends where the dimensional is because the sailboat is going to tuck underneath there too. So celebrate. That's going to go, so it just looks straight. It looks appealing. Like if you did it like that, no. All of a sudden it's like, that's where it needs to go. And I'll put the glue in. Once it's in place, don't lift it up because it will mess up your beautiful blending brush. This, you notice I'm not really pushing that down because I want to tuck the sailboat. Oh, we had to make the sailboat. I had to make the sailboat chop chop because the glue is kind of drying. Okay, let's make sailboats. It's a dimensional. It's okay. The dimensional can be like on a diving board. It's in limbo. Okay, so these will be last to add on. Clouds for the inside. Let's make our, oh look it tore. It's going to work somehow. Okay, let's make our little sailboats. Oh, it goes this way. Okay, so we're going to put glue all over this piece here. And, oh, let me show you something. So on this one, when I put the white sail onto the navy blue mast, see how you could see a hint of the mast showing underneath the sail? Is that the right way? I don't know. This is the first one I did, and the mast is not showing under the sail. Is that better or worse? I don't know. It's just different. Then on this one, I have the cherry cobbler showing through, and I thought I kind of like that. So see how it shows through here? So I don't think that there's a wrong, but there's just two different options. So this one is, yes, the mast will show through. So take that, put it onto here, just kind of set it on there for now, and scooch it around so you see an equal amount of mast, maybe up a little bit higher so that the people on here, when the sail flings around at 40 miles an hour, I don't want them to get bonked. Well, this is the one with the tear in it. They both are kind of fragile. So how about if, you know how I have my fixes? Boy, Bo is out there talking. Across the street this weekend is the boat races. It is so popular. It is so busy over there. Ooh, look at that right there. Okay, I'm thinking once that dries, can you see where the little tear is? There you can. Until it dries. Okay, that's going to be for the inside. We put the inside pieces right here. Okay, so that can just dry. Okay, let's do the other ones. Okay, so glue all over here. And I'm avoiding putting glue right to the edge because I'm going to have that showing. Is this the right way? I think so. Yeah. Good. Good. Okay, so that one's going to be on the outside. That will be about right here. While we're at it, let's do these two little ones. Glue. And it's just a little bit confusing because, like, is that the right side? Is that the right side? I think when it's flat, you could tell a little bit better because the dye makes the paper kind of curve down on the edges. But after it's textured, it's like, which side is up? But the navy blue and the white paper, they fit together just like that. You can do it higher or lower. Okay, that can be for inside. And finally, so the little sailboats, I'm assuming that these are not less expensive, less worthy. They're just further off in the distance. Does that make sense? Because you know, there's the people in the yachts. And then there's the people in the wannabe boats. This is just a sailboat in the distance. That's why it's up a little bit higher. Oh, look at that's coming together. Okay, let's build it. So this is just going to go on with glue. It's going to tuck underneath the word banner, and then after it's in place, it's sat there for a minute, I'll put dimensionals underneath the sail. So for now, all of this gets glue. And even half of the deck, I had to look up, I had to Google sailboat parts. Because in the previous video, I was trying to figure out, you know, that white, the fabric thing. It's like, I don't know. I don't know what they are. And then they had like different parts of the sail. And I would go, oh no, I'm not going there. The white thing is a sail. This they were calling the top parted deck, and the bottom part had all these different names. I'm like, nope, it's just gonna be called a deck. Okay, so I'm trying to push this down. I wonder if my dimensional is in the way of, no, it's okay. I'm gonna put a dimensional under there. Mini can go right here. Then I'll put another mini right here. See, if that was the one with the torn sail, that would probably be a problem right now. It's a good thing it's sitting over there getting fixed. Okay, that's down. That part is done. So this one is also going to hang off the side just a little bit, but have the top of it up in the cloud as if it's off in the distance. So glue on most of it, and the rest of it can just hang over. You know, that diving board thing. So that can go right here. I just want to make sure that the navy part is on the sunset part. And then this part down here, the deck, is parallel with the bottom. Okay, that looks good. And we're going to put Wink of Stella. I'll do that at the end because I'm going to do Stella on the sails and also on the water. Did you notice that on here? Let me get it right into the right line. See how it's kind of shimmery? I was going to try to put iridescent faceted gems, like maybe just the small ones for sparkle in the water, but it just didn't look right. I had to pull it up. Wink of Stella looks good. You could Wink of Stella everything. And then it's here on the inside too. Okay, so the front is, we could put the seagulls on. So to do that, and I'm doing just a little bit, one there, one here in the berry, and then one over here. And so when you're looking at how much glue, I'll hold this up, you're like, you're a little stingy, but that's because each of these little birds are different, and trying to figure out their shape. Well, I guess I could put the glue on the back of the bird, but that would be terribly messy. Okay, so these two, one for outside, one for inside. This one looks like it's cousins with this one. So I'm going to do one of each. Okay, so how about, because I think this one will be less visible, it's going to get the big one. I really don't want it to be navy on navy. Okay, that one's gonna get the little one. That's good. Where's a little one? Because once the glue is there, if you were to say, oh, just let it dry, I'll put it somewhere else, it distorts your beautiful blending. Okay, that one has glue just on one half of it. That's okay though. Then 1, 2, this is the third variety. Okay, there they are. A little bit too much glue. Okay. Okay, and then we'll put Stella over that in just a bit. Okay, so the outside for now, I think the outside is done. Okay. These are inside papers, inside pieces. Oh, we have to do blending brush again. That. Inside paper. Did I put it somewhere special? Okay, well, I'll just get another one. Okay, and gotta tell you, when I was doing the inside for this one, guess what I did? Don't do what I did. I did it this way. It's beautiful, had it all stamped, had the clouds on. Oh. So, and I know you all have never done that before. Should get started before I do it again. Okay, so I keep it down here into the Coastal Cabana zone. We're good. Okay, so once again, I want to see the 6 different zones of color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have that wet sail. I could get this much gone. Right there. Okay, here we go. Okay, less color that's on it, softer it gets. Do a little swoosh. Okay, pool party. Pool party. Right here. Drift up a little bit, drift down a little, do some swooshing. Yeah, you can't really see the difference. Needs more. They almost look the same. Can you see from there? Yeah, I think on the camera it's a little bit more visible. Or maybe the bottom Coastal Cabana just needs to be darker. I'm going to make the Coastal Cabana darker, just so you can really see a difference in color. Okay, let's see. Yeah, now you can see it looks like maybe a little bit more right here. Okay. Lemon lolly. And I don't want to get into that. I don't want to get into that. Lemon lolly. With a bit of white. Okay, I have a sore arm tomorrow. Okay, that looks good. And flirty flamingo. See how much ink is on it. Not much. See, I'm leaving room for the berry burst Okay, it's getting softer. Good for blending. Hey, you could definitely see each of the colors. The pool party really shows up now. And Fairy Burst. And I want it dark, so since there's not much ink, I'll drift down into the Flirty Flamingo for blending. And then I'll go in, get it re-inked, and get it darker. Okay, now after all that, let's hope I stamp straight. Okay. So, I'm going to put Happy Birthday in Night of Navy, down a bit, and off to the right side, just to make room for the clouds, just for a little interest. I could put the clouds anywhere, but it's kind of fun. Happy birthday. Please, please, please. Yay. Every time I've used a stamp, it's really worked out well. Okay, so now the rest is, oh, there's a stamp. Let me show you that. Okay, we'll use those. So there's these 2 water stamps that comes with the bundle. I really wanted to use this one, but it's about that big, and anytime I put it on here, that means that my ship, my sailboat would be in the sunset, like in the yellow, and I think it needs to be in the pool party or the coastal cabana. Therefore, I'm not going to use it. I'll use this one a few times over in coastal cabana. Okay, so full strength. And I'm going to determine this is the horizon. So right there, that's right about in the middle of the pool party. I stamped it a second time. You don't see it. Then, just to make it look a little interesting, I flip this upside down and I'll put it right here. Ooh, this one I did higher. I had to do it 3 times. This is water. And yeah, it's going downhill a little, but after it's decorated, it'll be fine. Okay, so now this can go onto the coastal cabana paper. Doesn't that look nice? Little border, bring all the colors together. Then get the navy in here. Isn't that stunning? I love that. Okay, so let's put the clouds in. This is almost dry where I had that tear. Oh, tear's kind of obvious from this side. Clouds. I'm being a little skimpy on the glue, not putting it too close to the edge, because if I have to scooch it, because I did the blending brush, I don't want to scooch it. I had ink on my finger. That's where a bird is going to go. Then, this one I put on with dimensionals. So I'll do 3 little ones. See how I'm avoiding this area? I'm going to put glue on that just because it's in the crease of the card. If I did not put glue on it, every time you went to close it, it would hit that. If you put glue on it, it closes just no problem. And that makes it a little bit more 3D looking. Didn't want that much glue. Who's gonna need glue? My finger. Okay, so that could go, kind of wants to be different placement. Okay. So that's done. Okay, this is the sailboat with the ouch. And if that keeps the tear, seeing this just right there, I didn't see it. So that's good. So this can go on with dimensionals. And conveniently, little dimensionals fit down here at the bottom. I think it depends on what light, if you see that tear in the sail. Okay, there's that. I'm going to be a little careful over here because I don't want it to tear anymore, because that glue, it isn't completely dry. Okay, where am I going to put this one? Okay, I'm kind of asking for trouble. I'm putting it on the side of the glue. My patch. And this is going to go up onto the cloud. Okay. That can go right here. Make sure that the bottom is equal to the bottom of the card. That's the glue. So you can't even see the tear. That worked out well. Oh, I got another. What's going on? Can't put a bird over there. I like the little ship right here because then you have room to write. Okay, so this one, because it's going to be tucked back behind the medium size, it gets just glue, no dimensionals. Okay, so I'm going to strategically place some of these little seagulls right there and right there for sure. Okay, so that's going to be a wing. That's going to be a big one right there. Then this one and the other one, I don't know. So, big one. Okay, that covered up the whoops. And that one hopefully covered up a whoops. I don't like that I got glue on where I did the blending brush. I had to put a whole bunch of Stella or something there. Okay, and the last one, yeah, that's not looking good. Now the paper is starting to soften and lift up. Okay, He's just dropping his, he stole someone's Doritos or something. Could I have him dive bombing? How about right here? Just a little bit of glue. Okay. I'm making it worse. Okay, so let's do Stella and we'll be set. Okay, Stella, have you ever used Wink Stella? So when you get it, it's just a paintbrush like an aqua painter, but right here, when this is closed, there's a little bit of a gap and there's a black ring. You have to take the black ring off to let the sparkly material come out through the end. If you don't take it off, it's like it's sealed closed. And I'm going to put Stella all over on, and if needed, you could give it, it says push right here, just do a little bit, and I say just a little bit because it takes it from here, the chamber, and it pushes through there. One time I pushed it so much I got a glob of half of my Stella on my card. So just do that just a little bit. And when I take pictures for my blog, I'll make sure you can see the sparkle on here. So I'll do it on this one too. Then I'll do it down here on the Coastal Cabana, the water, the waves. And if possible, avoid doing it on anything that you applied ink to, such as on here, because it will pick up some of the ink and it will distort the smooth effect of it. So because I'm doing it just on plain solid colored paper, the white and the Coastal Cabana, it's fine. So I'm wanting to do it on here, but I know that I'll distort the blending brush. So just the sails get it. Oop, I got some on there. And you could put it everywhere. This is so pretty on flowers too. Okay, there is today's project. What do you think? Here, let me hold it right here. What do you think? So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe and like button. I greatly appreciate that. And I hope you have a great day. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.